I'll be joined by Livingstone Kawesi later on for Good morning and welcome to Channel 44. I am Masi Gashegu Sembatia to bring you this morning's news update live here on Channel 44. I'll be joined later on by Livingstone Kawesi for sign language interpretation and translation. We'll start with what's happening within the nation today. NSSF members get discounts on building materials. Inter-ministerial meeting called over Byarugava's contract. Details are on page 3 of today's New Vision. And a festive fever, transport fares rising by the day. It's on page 4. See which transport fares have risen over the days. And also 7 commissions Mpondwe one-stop border post. Yoweri Museveni is seen commissioning the one-stop border post in Mpondwe yesterday. He was with the Trade Ministry's Permanent Secretary Geraldine Sali, the State Minister of Trade Harriet Ntabazi, and other officials. Details are on page 5 of today's New Vision. And also, they bring you how Uganda won battle against COVID-19. Uproar as Taliban ban girls university education. It's in the Middle East. And also in the Dr. Love, family squabbles, Christmas at home or at her place. It's in today's New Vision. And also the New Vision has over 100 tenders, and there are great opportunities in World Food Program, World Vision International, CARE International, NAGRC, Parliament of Uganda, among others. Get yourself a copy of today's New Vision and you'll get to know where you can find yourself a tender or a job opportunity here in Kampala in Uganda. And moving on to the Daily Monitor, economy struggling. It's a gloomy Christmas. Many Ugandans are staring at a dull festive season occasioned by an economy doing badly amid reports that the government missed its revenue collection target for last financial year by 1 trillion shillings. It's in today's Daily Monitor. And they bring you the details on that story. The growth rate, GDP growth rate declined to 4.7% in financial year 2021-2022, down from 6.4% in financial year 2018-2019. And also there has been an increase in trade deficit, about $5.6 million between August 2021 and September 2022. With the country realizing only $4.7 million from its exports and imports, and importing $10.3 million. And also the debt stock, or the public debt, stood at 20.98 billion shillings in June 2022, and is projected to peak at 53.1% by end of the financial year 2022-2023. Details are in today's Daily Monitor. And also, the Daily Monitor brings you President Museveni rallies Ugandans to embrace business. He has encouraged them to get back to work. And KCCA 6.1 trillion shillings rebuild dilapidated roads. At least 360 kilometers of city roads have outlived their service lives and need to be reconstructed, according to the Kampala Capital City Authority Executive Director Dorothy Kisaka. And police probe Mbale Industrial Park fire. The Uganda police have commenced investigations into the fire that swept through a mattress factory at Sino Industrial Park in Mbale City on Tuesday. In an interview, an expert's view on what newsroom need to do to remain very relevant in a new era. The Daily Monitor also has job opportunities and tenders inside. Get yourself a copy and you'll be able to get yourself a job or a tender. Right now, allow me to take you straight into today's international news update. I'll be joined right now by Livingstone Kawesi for sign language interpretation and translation. In neighboring DRC, the UN Security Council has eased the weapons embargo in the Democratic Republic of Congo in a move which could help the army to fight rebel groups. Countries are no longer required to notify the Security Council of armed sales to the government. An embargo was first imposed after the end of a civil war in 2003. The government had been complaining that the restrictions were hampering its fight against rebels, including the M23. It welcomed the decision, saying it considered an injustice. The United Nations has also extended the mandate of its peacekeeping force in eastern DRC for 1 year. In July, there were deadly protests against the UN force, which has faced criticism for not doing enough to protect civilians from rebel attacks. In Gambia, the government says it has thwarted an attempt to stage a coup. 4 soldiers have been arrested and 3 alleged accomplices were on the run, according to a statement from the government office. It is unclear who exactly was behind Tuesday's attempt to overthrow President Adama Barrow, who won a second term in elections last year. The Gambia is a largely stable country in West Africa, which is popular with holidaymakers because of its beaches and wildlife. The capital, Banjul, is peaceful, with life going on as normal. In the Middle East, a new government, seen as the most right-wing Israel history, has been agreed, seeing Benjamin Netanyahu's return to power. Mr. Netanyahu, who won elections in November, is set to serve an historical 6th term as Prime Minister. His coalition contains far-right parties, including one whose leader was once convicted of anti-Arab racism. Palestinians fear the government will also strengthen Israel's hold on the occupied West Bank. In the United States, a powerful Arctic winter storm will make its way through the US and Canada this week, bringing with it crippling snow and freezing temperatures. The once-in-a-generation storm began in the Pacific Northwest on Tuesday and has made its way east through the Rockies of yesterday morning. It is then expected to hit the Great Lakes later this week and will become a bomb cyclone by early Friday. The storm has already disrupted travel for many ahead of the holidays. Big US airlines like United, American, Delta, and Southwest have issued fee waivers to travelers who wish to reschedule their anticipation of a big storm. And still in the United States, former President Donald Trump reported steep business losses in his financial year in the White House, allowing the billionaire to avoid paying income tax. He also did not face tax audits during his first 2 years in office, despite rules requiring the review of tax filings by sitting presidents. The revelations came after Democrats voted to release the records on Tuesday after a 4-year legal battle. A spokesman for Mr. Trump said the release was politically motivated. In Asia, hospitals in China appear to be filling up amid concerns about a fresh COVID-19 wave hitting the country, according to the World Health Organization. Dr. Michael Ryan says intensive care units are busy, despite officials saying numbers are relatively low. China figures show no one died of COVID yesterday, but there is skepticism about the disease's real impact. In recent days, hospitals in Beijing and other cities have been filling up as the latest COVID surge hits China. Since 2022, China has imposed strict health restrictions as part of its zero COVID policy. In the United States, President Joe Biden has told President Volodymyr Zelensky the U.S. will stick by Ukraine for as long as it takes in its war with Russia. Mr. Biden told Mr. Zelensky that he will never stand alone, and this was as he visited the White House on his first overseas trip since the Russian invasion began. Mr. Biden confirmed a new package of more than $2 billion in assistance for Ukraine and promised another $45 billion. Mr. Zelensky expressed his gratitude for Washington's backing. At Wednesday's joint news conference, Mr. Biden told reporters he was not at all worried about holding the international coalition together with Ukraine. And finally, in the world of business, Sam Bankman-Fried, a former boss of failed cryptocurrency exchange FTX, is aboard a plane flying from the Bahamas to the United States, where he faces fraud charges. The 32-year-old is being extradited on suspicion of committing one of the biggest financial frauds in United States history, according to U.S. authorities. Mr. Bankman-Fried, who denies the allegations and may appear in court in New York this morning. Two of his former associates have pleaded guilty to related charges. FTX co-founder Gary Wang and Caroline Ellison, former head of cryptocurrency trading firm Alameda Research, were both charged with roles in the frauds that contributed to FTX's collapse, and Damian Williams, attorney for the Southern District of New York, is the one who announced this. Well, that brings us to the end of this morning's news update. Thank you for watching Channel 44. Today, Thursday, the 22nd of December 2022, Robert Kayanja Ministries, the Robert Kayanja Bucket Initiative, is flagging off another relief aid to the people of Karamoja. It's a Christmas package that is aimed at helping the people of Karamoja and giving them a Christmas of their time. Please stay tuned to Channel 44. We'll be bringing you updates of what is happening here at the Miracle Center Cathedral as truckloads are being set off to Karamoja to give them a Christmas of their lifetime. The Pastors Now program is up next. Stay tuned to Channel 44. God bless you and enjoy your morning.